guys, welcome back to our channel. It is Rachel here today, and I just want to play with some makeup, use a couple Clionadh shadows, you know, all that, a lot of my project pan items. So if you're interested in what I used, how I created this look, then just keep on watching. Alright, let's get started. So I have my mirror on this side. I don't know, I might just have to use like a handheld mirror, which is just not, it's not for me. But I already have my eyelids primed with my MAC Painterly paint pot. I'm just tapping out the creases because I primed it prior to this. I also self-tanned this morning, so any difference between my face and neck, that's normal. I'll tan my face later, and yeah, I'm not all too concerned about it, but I like to let people know because sometimes it develops much darker than it washes off to be, and I never want anybody to think that I'm like trying to get that tan, you know? So let's start out here. Okay, so I wanted to use some of my shadows from my Pan Those eyeshadows and my Project Half Panned. So I'm going to go in with my Onsai Alba 2 palette. Right here, we're making good progress on her, but the mattes are still going strong. I love that for me. So I made a lot of changes on this eye, so we'll see. It's just like a really pretty, really wash of shimmer with a smoky wing kind of vibe, which I'm cool with because I'm wearing Obies. So like I don't need to do anything like cut creasy and fun like that. So I'm gonna go in with a mix of aquamarine and blue peaful. So aquamarine is my favorite shade, and then blue peaful is this other matte right here. I'm gonna go in with a mix of those, but I'm gonna use more aquamarine than blue peaful. And I'm doing this on a Rephr number 14 brush. It's just a little tiny blending brush. And I'm gonna put that up here. I'm gonna try and keep it a little bit higher because I brought it a little bit too low earlier, which made like mattes not want to stick down here. Doesn't really matter for this look, but it is something to note with really powdery mattes, is that you're gonna get a lot of patchiness and no building if you build too much to begin with. So I am going to keep that really intense because I just want that really wham bam kind of blue up here. But I'm gonna try and keep it a little bit less high, or a little bit less low than I did last time. Jeez. I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Peach Juice, and then I am going to mix another pink from my Pan Those eyeshadows. So Peach Juice is the peach right here. I never use this shade, so I'm trying to like barely incorporate it into everything. Kind of like the orange in this palette. I just don't really use pinks and oranges ever. Blues and greens or neutrals like every day for me. So so I'm going to add this a little bit lower here, and blend it a little bit into the blue. If there's any shimmer that comes through on my brush, it's from my other eye, so like I apologize about that. But I just wanted a little bit of a purplier base for our shimmer shade. So I'm gonna go in with this pink or this peach. Yeah, this is sticking a lot better this time. Then from my Pan Those eyeshadows, I'm going to go in with the deepest purple matte, right? Oh, no. I'm going to go in with the hot pink color. I'm not holding it up all the way because my deepest matte cracked in half. And so if I turn this, it's going to fall right out. I don't even know if I'm going to repress it. Maybe I'll just like let it fall. Oops, it's panned, you know what I mean? But I'm going to go in with a little bit of this pink. This is from the ColourPop Ooh La La palette, I think, the pink one. But it's satin, so it's going to pack a little bit more of a punch because it's more grippy, like a shimmer. So I'm just going to add that over as well and blend it into our blue. And then I'm going to go back in with our teal brush and go over top of that. I'm going to mix some more mattes. So I'm going to go in with the deepest shade in this palette, in the Onsai palette, which is the shade Coffee. And then I am going to use the deepest matte from my Pan That palette. Let's see. Right up here. This one, I believe, is from the purple palette from ColourPop, whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm going to use a Refer 01 brush. I'm going to use one side for the matte and one side for the shimmers because I don't like to dirty brushes for no reason. So I'm going to go in with mostly the purple, the deeper purple matte from my Pandas eyeshadows and a little bit of coffee from the Odin's Eye palette. And I just want, tapping off the excess, I just want a base. Oh, there's some shimmer through there. Whoops. I just want a base for the shimmer that I'm going to use because I want it to pop just a little bit more. So I'm going to add that on. And then I'm going to go in with a decent amount of coffee on my brush and pat that on top as well. Then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques brush again and diffuse that just a little bit. If you're like me and anytime you see a blue-brown pigment and you buy it, even though you don't use blue browns, this is a good way to add a pigment on top. Then I'm going to go in with my palette, you know? My palette, that girl. We all know what I'm talking about. This is our Clionadh and JD Glow palette. Some shades are missing because Vic has incorporated them into some of her eyeshadows. I'm going to go in with a mix of two of the Clionadh shadows. I cannot remember. I think Grwm and then a different one. So I'm going to use this one right here in the very lower corner. It looks really green. And then I'm going to use this one as well. I'm going to mix both of those. So you'll all insert what the colors are on the screen. One of them is Grwm. They're like the green, brown, blue, brown with a burgundy base kind of pigments. And on the other side of my brush that I did not use for my mattes, I'm going to go in with those shades. So I just want to mix them because I feel that they look really good together. So, see the magic? Oof. Oof. I love me some Clionadh. So I'm just going to tap that all over the deep matte we laid down, or the deep mattes. And then I will kind of blend it everywhere because, like, why wouldn't I, you know? So I tap that all out, and then on the smaller Refer brush I used to begin with, I'm going to blend around the edges, and what this does is just takes the shimmer like everywhere. These are also Fallout Central because of all the glitter, so just be aware of that. Then I'm going to use a mix of green tea and aquamarine, so I'm going to incorporate the green matte in here as well with aquamarine, and I'm going to use that along my brow bone again just to keep blending things and add a little bit more green. And then I'm just going to take the brush I used with the shimmer and pat it around. Because I like that diffuse shimmer look. Whether you do or not, it's just not my problem, nor do I care. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with this LA Girl Gel Liner. This is, the packaging is really hard to read. This is just in the shade brown, I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to take this and sketch out a little wing. Forgive me, I will try to do this on camera, but I normally need two hands to do this, so. It's like barely a wing because I'm going to extend it with my brush and some brown shadow. So I'm going with the Refer 03 brush. It's like a little baby pencil brush. And I'm going to start smudging this around. I'm going to add just a little bit more brown liner right here to smudge that wing out a little bit more. Alright, that looks a mess. Now that it looks a mess, we're going to go back in with the shade Coffee from the Odin's Eye palette, and I'm going to just add that on top And then I will clean up the wing when I do my base. So I'm not all too concerned about the wing not being perfect right now, but just be aware of that. Smudgy wings are always messy AF. This old wipe, it's a baby wipe, and like just clean up the very edge, and I'll kind of make it pretty later, I think. Oh, foot cramp, okay. Also, I want to tell you guys about this fucking deal I got the other day. So I really needed a new mirror. So I had a Impressions vanity mirror that was like a plastic, and it was white, and it was really big. It was great for doing my base makeup. I don't normally use the light function on there. It's nice to have if I'm doing my makeup outside of my beauty room, but I'm not like concerned about that, you know? It's like, whatever, I'll deal with it later. But it kept breaking because it was made of plastic. I've had it for a few years, but if I'm paying $120+ for a mirror, I expect it to last. I don't expect it to break. So like the barrel of it, this is a simple human mirror. It's metal, so it won't break. The barrel of it was like a cheap acrylic kind of plastic, like IKEA drawers or whatever. I don't know, or the little inserts. And it snapped like 4 or 5 times, and I kept gluing it together, and I was like, you know what? If I talk to customer service, they're gonna tell me it's been far too long since I bought it, so I'm just gonna get another mirror. Well, Apple has a mirror. That's how big it is. Huge. It lights up. You can like connect your Bluetooth. You can also charge your phone from it. On the back, there's little ports to charge your phone. Fun stuff like that. And it was about $200, and I'm like, that's a lot of money for a mirror. Like just for a mirror that I'm really gonna use for mirroring, not for like all the fun features. Oh, well, since it is not makeup or hair care, I could use the 20% off Ulta coupon on it, so it's not like a luxury hair care or makeup brand. So I got 20% off, and I also had my points to use, so I got that mirror for like $12. A steal. I'm hyped. I'm so happy to have a mirror again that actually like works. Okay, let me look here. All right, I'm covered in glitter fallout. Least of my worries. I do not care. I'm gonna use a little bit of my L'Oreal Lumi Lotion. I'm gonna use my It Cosmetics Loves the foundation brush to apply this as my little primer. It's just like a nice bronzy glowy primer, and it's in my project pan, and you know, I'm pretty close to finishing it up. I've been through so many of these, so it's not really a shock, but I just don't really want to prime with my hands because I was holding a lot of glittery eyeshadows, bro. Okay, I'm gonna turn this way because I put my mirror right here, and it's not affecting the lighting too much, so we're gonna go with that. I'm just using this so I can be bronzy and glowy, match my face a little bit better to my neck. And I'll bring like a little bit on the forehead. My bangs cover my forehead, but the other day I did a makeup look and I didn't do any makeup on my forehead, and my temples were white and my face was tan, and I was like, oh, let's not do that again. Then I'm gonna use a little bit of my Becca under eye corrector in the shade medium. This is also my project pan. Only reason I'm using it, I don't really care for it very much. It's okay. But it's not magical. So I'm just gonna apply that with my brush and then blend it out with my fingers. It's just my nails are too long to get in there. Not that I have that much to correct, but I do have like a little bit, depending on the day. It's not one of those days. I got some good sleep. My boyfriend, however, did not. He is so sick. I don't know. He must have a cold or something. I could just hear him breathing. He was just like. I'm gonna tap this out. I also got this new travel cup. I hate reheating my coffee, and I don't drink coffee super fast. I like to like, you know, sip on it, and I always have to re-microwave my coffee like every 15 minutes, I feel like. And so I finally bought some travel cups. This one's from Zach. They had this color, and then I got like a kind of a deeper like dusty purple. So pretty. So I like it. I think it's cute. I've had my coffee in it for about 3-4 hours now. Still warm. So for my concealer, I'm gonna use a couple dots of my Oma Beauty Stay Woke This is a really, really nice concealer. It's super high coverage though, so like beware of that. It's like a whipped kind of like moussey texture, but in like a good way. It's not in like a off-putting or bad way. Like it's a really beautiful concealer, and I like it because it seems pretty versatile. I can use it when I'm not wearing any foundation, if I use just a little bit, and I can, you know, really amp up that coverage if I want. So I have been really enjoying this one. I'm spraying my brush with my MAC Fix Plus. This is a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH08 brush. And I'm just letting that soak in there a little bit and blend out my concealer. I find that this is a really good concealer brush, and spraying the brush kind of helps the concealer blend and keep a good finish. Because I really do prefer concealer with a sponge, but if I'm not using a sponge for my foundation, it seems pointless to have one like readily available, you know? That mirror also came with a really zoomed in close-up mirror right here. So I'm trying to use that, but it's kind of hard. I think that maybe tonight I'm gonna dye my hair. I love the blonde, dude. It looks really good with the pixie cut. I hated the blonde when my hair was a little bit longer. But I still feel like I need like some blue. I don't know. You let me know what you think. As always, I'm gonna do a little foundation concoction, but first I need to apply my plumping gloss. This is the Ulta plumping gloss. This one's in the shade Taffy, I think. Yeah, Sweet Taffy. It's just like a light pink shade. This is my favorite plumping gloss. I normally apply it a few times when I'm getting ready, so I go through these pretty fast. But man. And I don't do it because I need my lips to be bigger or whatever. I just love the feeling of plumping gloss. Like, that's literally the only reason. For my little foundation concoction, I'm going to use about half a pump of Auric Glow Lust. This one's in the shade Pyrite. I'm going to use probably half a pump of this Nude Sticks Tinted Cover Foundation. Dewiest shit on the planet. I love it. And then I am going to use probably a full pump of my Natasha Denona Foundation X to make it more yellow because my Nude Sticks is more red. I'm going to do this on the palm of my hand since the back of my hand is tanning at this moment and I don't really want a splotch. So, beep. That looks like it should be a good enough color match. I might even have to add a little bit more Nude Sticks to make it more red, but I think it should be okay. I'm still not pro heavy coverage, but I am trying to add a little bit more coverage just so I can get through some things, and I don't know, some looks just seem a little bit better with higher coverage. This is definitely not a high coverage concoction. The most coverage it's going to have is from that Foundation X, which is a really thin foundation, so one pump of that gives me a good light coverage everywhere, but I don't know. And I know Salt is about to release their little summer collection for blushes. I've talked to Kiki a few times about some behind the scenes stuff, just because we're pals. I'm really hoping she's releasing what I think she's releasing. I have about this much left, so I'm just gonna wipe it off because I do not need that much. This one's super light. It's LA Girl Pro Concealer in Cool Pink Corrector. It's just like a nice light pink. It's around the same shade as the normal Becca Under Eye Corrector, but I do really like this one for brightening, even when I put it on top of concealer. It's literally pink, so I don't know why I like that, but it works pretty well for me in my experience. I haven't had any major issues I haven't found, but normally I do it under concealer. I just didn't. Can kind of cool down my face a little bit because sometimes, depending on the level of tan or pale I am, everything just pulls a little bit orangier than I would prefer. Oh, I forgot. I found out that you can under contour with powder. Maybe I'm late to the game. I was pretty fucking hyped about that. Forgot to do that today though, so I guess we're using a powder bronzer. First I'm gonna go in with my cream bronzer. This is my Salt New York Cream Tint Pro in medium. medium bronze plus sculpt to be exact. I'm going with the BH Cosmetics number 3 brush. This is such a bomb cream contour, cream blush kind of brush. And I'm going to use this to cream bronze. I'm only going to do that on my cheekbones because I'll just take my powder bronzer on my forehead. You can tell I'm really hyped about that. I'm itchy. Whatever. The absolute bane of my existence, my Panda palette with my bronzers and stuff, which I use as little as possible. I'm gonna go in with the bronzer right here. This is the Physiscans Formula Butter Bronzer. I think it's in the normal shade. It's from the Wiley Hong palette. Is it Wiley Hong? I think so. I'm gonna use just a random like fluffier brush because I don't want a lot of it. I really actually despise this bronzer formula. I'm trying to figure out what the hype is for, but it's way overly pigmented and really like powdery looking on the skin. Every time I use it, I'm like, today's the day. Today's the day that I understand why everybody loves this so much. Well, spoiler alert, it's never that day because I just don't like the formula. I'm a fool. I'm also gonna go in with the blush right above that. Powder blush, I know, right? I'm gonna use that and just gonna blush it up, and then I'll add a cream blush on top, but this way I can actually get some use out of it. Just gonna go back with my foundation brush, make sure everything is clean. Good enough. I'll take it. My eyebrow hairs. It doesn't really matter because I put my bangs to the front, but I just haven't been like putting enough effort into like keeping my brow hairs up. It's very embarrassing. I haven't really been highlighting, but I do really like the effect this one gives because you can't really tell that it's a highlighter. It just looks really nice and dewy, so I'm using this one. I feel like that's just impossible to achieve. Like, I love like my salt highlights, but they don't look like this. Like, nothing else looks like this. I can add it on top of blush without it looking bad. I don't know what fucking magic she used in this formula, but I use it every single time I do my makeup. Not necessarily as like a highlighter, but just in general. Alright, Nudestic Sweet Peach Peony. This is the Nudie Blooms line, so it's going to be greasy as fuck. I'm gonna add that on. I might add a little bit of spice from Salt, New York, too. Because I think I want something a little bit less pink. Maybe I'll use a little bit of lavender. I don't know. So many choices. So little time. Yes, when I do my blush, I try to blend it almost all over my bronzer so there's no line of demarcation. I'm like, I don't know, man. I used to love a lot of bronzer and now I'm just like blush all the way. You know, like bronzer doesn't even matter anymore. It's just something I use because you're supposed to, but I could probably just use blush and feel fine. Like, do I like this color? Yeah, but lavender. Maybe I should do the orange one. Sure, I'll use a little bit of tangerine from Salt, New York. Because this color's really pretty. It's like a true orange. It's just gorgeous. It's like the cream orange blush of my dreams because it's still in that dewier formula. Is that a stain? Holy fuck, Kiki. Why did I never notice that? Alright, then I'm just gonna take my concealer brush and make sure I still have concealer on. Make sure it's not just blush on my under eyes. I'm just gonna use like a really fluffy kind of eyeshadow brush for this. Vic has noticed that she's just like sweating a lot because it's getting warmer out. So she bought the MAC Mineralized Skin Finished in B70 Light Plus. I'm gonna use a little bit of that just for shits. Like, I've never tried this powder, not that I really powder at all, but I've heard good things about it since I started watching beauty YouTube. And MAC normally has a pretty, like, they have a pretty solid idea of how to do makeup, just not eyeshadow palettes. So I'm just gonna add that on my under eyes just to try it out. Oh, that's pretty good for powder. I would definitely still prefer it without though, I think. It's alright. I mean, it looks okay. It doesn't look bad by any means. It doesn't look cakey. It just looks a little bit less skin-like because I put powder on. So, I guess we can finish up the lower lash line here. I'm not thinking about doing anything cray-cray. I'm gonna go in with Green Tea and Aquamarine again from the Oden's Eye palette. Just sweep that under. All I can hear are my earrings clinking together. Then I'm just gonna take some of that brown liner. I'll put it in my waterline too. And I'm just gonna smudge that out with a little rougher pencil brush. Maybe just, what should I use in my inner corner? Like white? I don't know. Grungy could be fun. I do like some grunge. Okay, we'll try that. I'm gonna go in with my Becca Light Shifter palette. Pearl Glow Shimmering Eye palette. I don't know what that was. And I'm gonna go in with this cooler tone silver, or cooler tone like taupey shade. I'm actually gonna mix it with the one right next to it too, just to make sure it's not too scary colored. And I'm just gonna. All right, and this is the completed look. I really need to trim my hair here because I can't really. I don't love the side part look. I guess this one's okay, but I can't see anything. So I need to trim my hair like today. But this is the completed look. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you want me to play with next, what you want to see. Do you like me using all my project pan items, using the same things over and over again, or are you like, bitch, get something new. Pull out a new palette, please, for the love of God. I'll do whatever you want me to. You're the audience, not me. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope to see you in the next one. Bye.